Hello, and welcome to a half-hour program of the local voter education and free speech. Well, it's coming up in October again on the agenda, and I want to keep saying this over and over. We need people to step up and put this back at our city hall. We don't have it there, and so it's just a reminder. It's coming up. If you're not a fighter, share the word. Also, the last video I did the other day, most of the sound wasn't too good. And I don't know if the sound's any better or not. I removed the mic. I'll be getting some new equipment next week to help get a better sound and upgrade this thing here too a little bit. So right now I'm still in practice mode, pretty much trying to get a ribbon going, trying to get a thing going here. And one of the things I want to bring up is that my court hearing is Thursday, 9:45, and I'm pretty sure it'll probably get dismissed. But this is canvassing the votes, and what I did was, well, let's just change. Let's go back to here, and you might not be able to see it. It might be too small, whatever. But this is my whole case right here. This is the whole thing right here. So the attorneys asking for proof and all this kind of stuff and all these letters and things I'm getting from them trying to get it dismissed and names, witnesses. There isn't none of that. Here, it's all right here in one nutshell. Here's the problem right here. This is it. And everybody agrees there's something wrong right here. This is what this is. This is what I want to take before the judge and say, look, I don't know. I believe it's voter fraud's a problem here, and I sure hope it is, because if it isn't, we got a bigger problem. I pray it's voter fraud. But you can look at the numbers. If we didn't have a history of voting numbers to go by, then we couldn't do this. But we got a history of numbers that keep going up, up, up constantly. And then all of a sudden they drop by 50%. And I believe some of my votes were taken away in 23. The votes, it looks like 3,600 were in 23. And my votes in 23 were 651. Go down here one step to my votes. Maybe I should lay this out a little bit more clear to understand. It might be kind of hard to understand and go back and forth between them, but those match up that my numbers dropped because the election before, I had 640 votes. So I only gained about 11 votes. And I spent about, almost twice as much money. In the 21 election, I spent around 5,000. In the 23 election, I spent around 11,000. And a lot more information out and everything. But my votes didn't go up much, but they went up. Regardless of say, everything in the picture keeps going up. Positively going up, and it should. The city keeps growing rapidly, way too quick. But anyway, so I believe some of my votes were destroyed there. I believe some votes were destroyed there, period, in that 2023. And then you go up here to the 2025 votes. Well, no, so let's go back. The 2021 votes, total votes in 2021, were 152. The population around 96,000. 5,000, that's total votes for the whole districts in 21. The next election, they dropped to 3,600. But the population went up higher and the votes went down. And I say about 50% because by all indications, our voting should have been around 6,000 or something. That's only, it should have went up a little bit, whatever, around maybe 6,500 around there. And this puts us about half of that. Even if this would have came out to the same number as 21 and 23 were right the same, that would still be a loss because the city keeps growing. But it would be acceptable. I mean, it means that we're losing voters or something. That's not enough to call suspicious or really fraudulent if it was, but it is. It would be a concern. They should go up while the city goes up. I believe a lot of these votes go up and up and up because of all the money I spent in this district, all the time I've worked in it. I'm the only candidates put out leaflets, signage, I mean, been involved constantly all the way around. So that might have helped bring these numbers up, getting more people involved. I'm not sure. And I think my votes were being destroyed somewhere because in, you go back to 2015 when I ran, well, let's go to, what do I got 2015 in there. Well, let's go down where I ran. Let's go down this bottom one. Okay, 2017 is when I got where I ran in 2017. Okay, because I did run in 2015, but it was a trial run. I'm not putting it on there. Really doesn't count. I was out of town during the election. And the votes I got during that trial run were just votes that didn't want Gina Bibbins. Anybody could have got those same votes that would have ran because these people would have voted for anybody. I might have got a handful of my own just from family and friends, but as far as real votes, they were just votes that didn't want Gina Bibbins. That's it. And there wasn't that many votes anyway. So, but anyway, I didn't bother 15. But 17, when I got ready to run, what they did was they rejected me from the ballot. And I'm still new at this game here. But they rejected me from the ballot for not meeting a requirement that was not on the requirement list. That's an impossible task. That there should have sent flags up to people all the way around, any decent people through our system, even other council members or whatever. People should have seen an error there that shouldn't happen. No one could do that. I met all the requirements, and I filed a court case on that. And I thought I made some mistakes. I've never done this before. It's the first time I ever filed. And I didn't even ask for a jury trial or anything. I went for a judgment, because I thought it was such a cut and dry case. I was asking for a duty that was impossible. Instead, I got denied. So that's from a lack of knowledge. And this will be a new. I was surprised. I won't do that again, but I learned. But nevertheless, even though the judge were doing it, the people should be concerned about that. But anyway, I wound up as a write-in because I was rejected from the ballot for not meeting a requirement that was not on the list. It was that simple. It was a requirement anybody could have done, anybody could have fixed if they'd had notification. And this was done intentionally. And the reason I can say this was done intentionally is because if the city would have made a mistake, and then get the new rules. So they changed rules from 15 to 17. Only thing is they didn't put in the new rule on the list. So they forced it, but they didn't expose the new rule. Okay, so that's what they did exactly. And if it was by accident, they didn't get it on there. Or anytime you do something that causes someone if you do something that penalizes somebody else because of your error, usually you apologize for that. And what you expect to hear from the city be saying that we made a mistake, Mr. Blue, this ain't going to happen again. We're going to fix that for sure, or whatever. It shows some kind of, some kind of moral thing, something that they didn't mean to do it, but they didn't show none of that. No apologies, nothing. And the reason why there were no apologies from the mayor or council or any of them is simply because you don't apologize for what you intentionally do. And that sums it up. They intentionally got me kicked off the ballot. And so even back then, and I went before council, it's on tape. And I told Betsy Price, I mentioned, I said, because I'm new at this. I had plans of I didn't plan on getting elected right away. I wanted to run a few times. I had questions. I questioned myself through those first few elections a lot of times. What was I doing? Am I qualified to do this? And all kind of, questions. Why am I, why am I doing this, all this? I'll tell you, where we're at now, that bar set so low. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I have no questions now, no doubts now whatsoever. But anyway, what I'm seeing now. But back then, I was new at this game, and I had a lot of questions. And because I have respect, I didn't realize these people had no respect for the office. They don't. And I have respect for us or the office, and I didn't realize that time, and I do. So, but anyway, they let's see here. I kind of lost the train of thought there on that, but all that's fine. I went for council and told them in best friends. I said, I'm really impressed that you people would sink that low to get me off the ballot. That's really impressive that I'm that much of a threat. That's why I put it. Actually, I said, I'm really amazed that I'm that much of a threat that you'd sink that low to get me off the ballot. And they did. They sank that low to get me off. They set that whole thing up and did it. Um, and it was intentionally. But nevertheless, still, I got 112 write-in votes. Now that's pretty good, I think. People took time to actually take time to write your name in there for it, And actually, that's good. I think that's good. 112, I was pleased with that. And then you can see that I'm on the bottom level here. My votes. So up here is the overall votes, and down here is my personal. Because there's errors in both of these. One is the overall is 50% off, and down here in mine's 90% off. So with the write-in, I go up to 279, I go up to 645, I go to 6051. That's where it gets crazy. We lose 50% of the votes. I think I lost votes. We're not even going to get into the part about the people working over there in the vote area and all that. There's a lot of unanswered questions over there. So I'm trying to get a meeting with the administrator. And we'll see by Friday if he's going to meet with me or not. But there's a lot of questions over there that had to be answered. There's really a lot of suspicious things. So, but right here we go with what's on paper alone. And just look at this. And we can see there's a problem here. I mean, to me, there's a problem here because I only went up 11 votes and I spent 20,000. But there again, that's still not enough to argue. So really, it's not. To me, I see suspicion right here. But now in 2025, when my votes dropped down to 67, that's below those. I don't buy it. Not at all. I think there's something wrong here. Now, this is my whole case. These numbers. This is what I'm saying. We think there's something wrong. Now, it's one of three things. It's either people quit voting because they're 50% off up here. Now, that's not me personally. If this was just me personally, okay, and plus I would have got some kind of indication if people were turning against me. I think I would have got some kind of feel or something for that. I still had people calling supporting me. So I didn't feel anything going the wrong way. So I don't buy it. That's overall this here. And good about losing track here. But this is my whole argument right here. We're not, and I said there's three things. It's either voter fraud or, well, it could be incompetence by the people, voter error, people error and the deal, or the machines, or people stop voting. There is a problem here. When it drops up here, the overall by 50%, that's an issue that needs to be looked at. And that's my argument that I sent into there's 2 pages of this. No one tells that. If a doctor is it takes your temperature and comes back and takes your temperature again and it drops by 50%, he knows there's something wrong. He can't tell you what at that point. There's something wrong. That's the same thing here. There is definitely, and this is the whole thing. Here's my whole page. The lawyers have not once addressed this issue. They have not addressed this. And this is the whole thing right here. This is my whole battle. These numbers. I don't need people or any of that other. This is what we're going on. We're saying there's something wrong. Machines, people. Plus, I did change it up here. I did have voter fraud for city council at the moment, and that was wrong. I updated that to incompetence and dishonesty. Because I was able to put a paragraph in how the mayor lied about me in public. She's a liar. And you can't trust liars. How can you trust a liar? That's insane. That's in the Bible. That's one of the top 10. And she's a two-faced liar. And nowadays, with the moral value of people, they don't care. They don't care. It don't mean anything to them until she does something to them. Then they'll care. And that's why I go to school board meetings. I think the answer to that question is teaching at an early, and some countries, they're starting at 3 years old teaching your kids. We've got to get into the schools. We need to know people get in. This is the main thing right here. If we're going to fix this really, and that's what I like to see us do, is fix the problem. And the way they do it is to get to our schools. I need to find out in charter schools, are they teaching civics? Do they teach any moral values like respect, honesty, decency? You know, what I was taught is not taught now. What I was taught was that when a person does not answer questions, don't trust them. You can be polite, you can be respectful, but do not get into business with them. Do not trust them. You cannot trust people that do not answer questions. And that goes across the board in all of our local, from the commissioner's court, school board members, city council mayor. And you know, that is the premise of the job, to answer questions, and they don't do it. I mean, Deborah Peoples, the council member that they put in. Now, this is another thing. This was the reason I say it was rigged. It was rigged by Democrats. But that's what's in that was in the county room. Kat, her friend, and Deborah Peoples, that was very strong in the Democratic Party. And that's who they put in office, District 5. Never been to a council meeting, bond meeting, never done her civic duty. I don't like her being in there at all because she's not fit to be there. And I did sign up to speak tonight. They're going to put her on the board, and this brings up a point. What they do, if I was a council member, I wouldn't do this. But what they do when they get in, because they don't know what they're doing, they start getting elected to be put on boards. So they can get signed and be on these boards. She shouldn't be on a board. She should point someone to be on these boards instead of her. And she should be free to do the work that we need her to do. We need her to get her butt out here in the public, hold open meetings, come to these schools, hold meetings, talk to the people, ask questions, do her damn job like she's supposed to, but she's not. They'll fill her up at boards, and that way she doesn't have time to hardly make any meetings. She can't be here, she can't be there. Oh, and she's worked to death. Oh, she's so tired from the beat. It's bullshit, top to bottom. 100% Texas grade A bullshit. That's what it is. And I'd like to recall her out of there, but here's the thing. Well, actually, the thing goes to, let's see, should we stay with this for a minute? Okay, because we're talking about the court case. Let's finish that up. Okay, so anyway, there's my whole numbers. The lawyer's asking for all kind of proof. This is it. All we're asking for is that we do a District 5 by paper ballot and using high school students or ROTC or Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts to handle the county. That's the only ones I trust. And I wouldn't trust any pastors nowadays either. These preachers and pastors aren't pastors. So, but anyway, that's the only ones I trust. That's all we're asking, because we did that paper ballot and redid it. We can actually see, we'll get really eliminate a lot of questions here and narrow down what the problem is. And hopefully it's voter fraud or the machines or something like that. We better hope it's that, because if it's people not voting and got a clue what to do there, I really don't have a clue. But I don't believe it's that. We've been going up, up, up. And so I changed this to incompetent and to just honesty. That's how I got off on that trail, talking about the mayor line. Now here's their job, is this. And I don't understand that. These people run in this election, and they have the job to certify all this stuff, these measures. And this is what canvassing the votes are. Now, to submit the official returns to the Department of the State, I don't have that. It seems like just a mechanical a thing anybody can do, actually. I don't see that. That's just making sure they get there. Maybe someone's certified. As a matter of fact, they really don't need their hands on any of this whatsoever to run for office, because they're certifying the ones that they ran in. And Maddie Park, which I put in a deal, is a liar. So you can't trust her. See, they were to certify the voting equipment, correct the counts, votes, cast, all that, all office and all measures. Let's see. Certify the voting equipment correctly. Counts, votes, cast, correctly count, vote, cast for all offices and on all measures. Okay? Well, they're to certify the voting equipment. I guess that means to check that it is correct. Well, how can we trust them that it's correct? Maddie Parker's just as crooked as a day. All those council members are just as crooked as a day's long. You can't trust any of them. They'll never come down and take questions. If one of those council members will ever come down and take questions one-on-one of me, that would be the council member you'd want to get behind and start supporting. But until that day, I wouldn't trust a one of them, no matter what they say or what they do. Two, to verify the accurate and valid of all the votes cast. Okay, they're supposed to do that. Now, I did go before they passed this at the council meeting. They verify this to the public when they do this and they prove this. And I made a public statement on film there on tape that there's a problem with this election. The numbers are way off, and they're not right, and they need to be done. Of course, they don't. They never listened to me before, so they don't listen to me. They don't like me, so they're not about to. As a matter of fact, this is what I did. It's just saying what I just said about this. This is my paper I did send to the. I filed this one, and that's so. But anyway, that's what canvassing votes are. So what I'm saying is they're not to be trusted in that part of the election. We need to do a recast of these things and see what's real. And it'd be good for overall. We've got to know. We need to know. That's all. We're not exactly pointing the finger at anybody just yet. But these numbers, and this redo could tell us, but we do know the only thing the numbers are off. So something has to be done there. It needs to be done. If it's not, it won't surprise me. And then I was looking at recalling these council members. And this is something that until we have a mayor that will support the people and just legitimate issues, and just because right now the way it's set, well, we added 2 more districts, 2 more council members on gerrymandering because they had to be Hispanic. You talk about all the gerrymandering going on. I was way out there. Also, these 2 council members were added to the city on the strength of less than 1% of the city voting because Council Mayor didn't want people to know about this when it was on the ballot. They didn't, include the people really, just the insiders, and it barely passed. And I yelled about it for years down there, saying it needed to be redone, it needed to be put on billboards, let people know. And of course, they're not going to do that. This is all railroaded through, and who knows? We can trust those votes or not now that I think about it. But anyway, so we got 2 more council members on the strength of less than 1%. Now, what it takes to remove these SOBs is 20% on the average, or something. I figured if I called to see what it'd take to get Denver people recalled from District 5, it's going to take around over 10,000 signatures. 10,000. That's 500 pages with 20 signatures on each one. That is a job. Now, she got elected with only a little over 2,000 votes, if those are correct votes. I don't think they are. I think she's been padded. I think it was padded. I don't buy it for a minute. But nevertheless, just a little over 2,000 votes. But you got to get 10,000 people to sign a piece of paper to get her out. They protect themselves. So, and this is what I mean by having a mayor. If we got together and got a mayor in there to do the job, we could go back to the charter, amend the charter to where we can remove a council member. If there were people got in with 2,400 votes, then all we need is 2,401 signatures to remove her. That should be on any council member, mayor, whatever amount of votes it took to get them in. To get them out, that amount on signatures plus 1 should take it to the back to the ballot. That should do it. That should be enough. And that's possible. But they got it up where they're protected once they get in. 10,000. They know you're not going to be able to get that. That is hard. That takes money, time, a lot of work. So no, it's not people. It's done to protect them. And the only way you can get the charter changed for the people to make it more fair and decent. And plus, when we do that, council members and mayors would act more honest because they'd be more held accountable. They could lose their spot easier. They're well protected. They have no respect. I mean, really. Let's see, where'd it go to? Huh. Oh, I guess you don't hold that many pictures. But I want to pop this one up. Let's see, we're going to do some bouncing around here. Let's go here. Well, let's go here. And let's go. Oh, no, that's wrong. Back up. Got to go this way with it. I want to bring this. I thought I brought this in, and apparently it's not in my slide over here. I don't see it, so maybe I'm hit my limit there. So let's add to scene, media, boom. Okay, now we'll go here, open, image, boom, pictures, boom. Where's she at? Where is she? Ah, there she is. Boom, open, boom. I should have had it in already. I thought I did. Elizabeth Beck in District 9. Okay. When they were dissertizing, she started crying at the meeting that she wouldn't get elected. And see, because we don't elect people by qualifications, we elect them by party or gender or whatever. Well, this woman is terrible. Anyway, and before this happened, a little earlier, if she got elected, no sooner they were in office, it wasn't but 5 or 6 months, they asked for a triple pay and salary. Hadn't been in office 6 months, and she was whining how she couldn't, the salary wasn't enough to work as much as they got to do and all that, and make her bill and take care of the kids, and it wasn't enough salary. So she's whining. She wanted that triple pay and salary. And she's whining like, we couldn't get by without her. Well, yeah, we could get by. We replace her real easy. With 100 people take that spot. She's not that important. But she was whining. She wanted that. Unfortunately, we barely got by that they didn't get it. Almost got it. That's frightening too. Triple pay and salary for someone like this idiot. And but anyway, but you know what? When they didn't get it, did she stop? Oh, she stayed in. And then she started whining about not getting reelected because they were drawing the lines. Because she knows she has no qualifications. She can only win by the certain people. They got to keep them in line for her to get reelected again. Her same inside establishment that keeps the same people in office. And if we ever get other people outside more voting, which is about 95% of the city that's not doing it, we get them involved, we can start changing these people out real easy, and they need to be changed out. This woman flat out called me a racist in public at a meeting, and she's never come down to confront me with that, take it back, or anything. She also helped pull a quorum on me so I couldn't stop me from speaking. She's mentally insane, but she don't mean anything to me. She says she's a member, one of the council members. That's not important. My code is this person right here is where I spend my time. Here's the main crook. We can all vote on her from all sides, but we vote on her at large. So we're not limited. Everybody can go after her all around cities. So it gives me a big pool to prove from. And if we have a good mayor, everything goes out right. And what we'll put out here as far as a religious comment here, I guess, would be Matthew 12, verse 33. It says, if the tree is good, it'll bear good fruit. If the tree's bad, it'll bear corrupt fruit. The mayor is a tree of the city, and she's corrupt, and so is all the fruit that comes off this. I dare say it. Bitch? Yes, I dare say it. Yeah. She just doesn't deserve any respect. She doesn't respect us. They went over our comment meeting last week. They put their meeting there. And we got a meeting tonight. I'm going to. I said I'll be speaking on a couple of things tonight. And that's so. And then next Tuesday on the 19th, we'll see if the administrators want to meet me at City Hall for an interview or not. They're supposed to let me know by Friday. We'll see about that. And then tomorrow, it's almost, let's see what time we got. We almost got 1 o'clock. That's good. 30 minutes is not too hard to handle. That's good. Also, yeah, I'm anxious to get some more tools to work with. We'll see if this recording came out a little bit better or not. I am deleting a lot of them because I really want to get it down good before I start leaving it on there. I want to get this down. So all these are just kind of practice runs for me and things. And there's just so much stuff to talk about. So, and also let's see if we can get a guest on to help brighten this up a little bit. But first things first, got to get the old piggy bank refilled. I had to break Onky and get them into that to get by on here. But got some good sized checks coming this way. And as they come in, we can throw some over this and upgrade this program, see how that works. Work on getting another mic system, and that's so. And once we get it going good, then I'll put out signs and I'll really promote this channel so everybody will know about it at least. So anyway, appreciate anybody listening, and I don't know how it came out. It may not be on there very long. I may delete it tomorrow or whatever, or later or whatever. But just because I want to check the sound. If the mic's really bad and crackly and all that kind of stuff, we just it's what we're working on. So